Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. My name is Chris, the High Guy Jacobs, and today we're taking a look at Archipelago Raid Bracket Breakdown for G26, the absolute cream of the crop for the Fearless bracket, coming in at an overall 194 billion might. Let's see who we've got going in first glance, and then we'll go ahead and take a look at each one individually so we can get a better outlook what we're facing here in GROP in the Jade Legion, pardon me. First and foremost, coming out of Golden, we've got ZLOY out of 109, DAY out of 241, Vino out of 530, Day out of 241, Vino out of 543, Play out of 549, 8 PM out of 561. I've played against Play before. They're a bunch of scrappy guys, so this is going to be set up to be a pretty decent one already. Then for the Jade Legion across the map, we've got 11 with BTW coming out of Region 11. We've got ACA or ACA coming out of 111. We've got KRNB coming out of 235. We've got Sin coming out of 395 and GROP out of 420. Taking a look at Azure, we've got Wolf coming out of 95. We've got IM3 coming out of 144. FPA out of 485, Soda out of 562, and Neon out of 724. And lastly, out of Crimson, we've got DEXM, we've got DEXM out of Region 8, DMZ out of 239, HRPL, pardon me, out of 306, Raw out of 346, and GWAR out of 431. Now, I know a little bit of IM3. I've played with them in IR. You might remember them from the situation where we almost ended up getting the top spot, but I ended up having to give it away because they didn't like how we ended up doing it. Long story short, we've got a little bit of history with Azure already. That's not necessarily good. And then from here, I know DEXM. I know players from within DEXM, within GWAR, within Play, within Day, Zloy. So it's a pretty active, it seems to be a pretty active region, especially at the top of Fearless. So let's dive into them and see if we can't take a look at what each alliance has to offer. Okay, so let's zoom out here and we'll start with Crimson. So Deus Ex Machina, DEXM, out of number 8 is being led by Balerion. Decent fighter here. I've been fighting him on the field a lot already. We've got Vigilante. We've got S2. Trix. So a decent amount of players here. Decent hitters. Some good fighters. Some not so good fighters. They all like to swing though, and that's kind of the good part. So far we've been able to fight them a little bit. I'm interested to see what their rallies and garrisons are, so we haven't seen any of that yet. Vendetta is over here. Vegito. They've got Vegito from HMB out visiting. Kiss My Axe. So they've definitely got a decent string of people before we get into the lower ones, which I assume, you know, they only probably registered the top portion of them. But that's Deus Ex Machina out of Region 8. Next, we've got The One, DMZ out of 239. Alliance leader's not bringing very much. We've got B in here. Another name I can't pronounce. Hoon. Hoon has been everywhere on this map so far. He's pretty strong, but he's really fast. He's really, really, really fast. And at 179, it's a decent number to have that might and those amount of kills. Super fast. Rider main, very, very quick. Makes it for a pain in the butt to try to keep up with. The Good Day we've seen a little bit of too. The Good Guy we've seen a little bit of. Let's see. A bunch of players and names I can't pronounce. 170s. Then they drop pretty low. 156. I've seen a little bit of the code. Not bad coming out of DMZ. Next, we've got HRPL. Let's take a look at HRPL. Come on, button. Start working, please. Husaria Polska out of 306. Decent fighters here. Not much coming out of their team, though. Doesn't seem like much coming out of their team. No R2s. Not a big issue coming out of HRPL. Let's see what else we've got. Raw, Rebels at War. Let's take a look. Rebels at War. Sorry, I was just checking some out. What do we got here? 209, 200, we're 198. None of these guys I've seen on the field. I've seen KTS Commander. None of these other ones I've seen on the field yet. Silverfast I've seen on the field and I've beat him up a little bit. Geo have yet to see. Adrock have yet to see. Bunch of farms and suppliers. Carrying a lot of weight there, Raw. I wonder what you actually brought to the field here. And then Warriors Club. We got Cruel, seen him a little bit. The problem is he's lower on kills, so he's not much of a fighter. Seen Hulk a little bit. Let's check out Hulk. Yeah, decent fighter. A little bit balanced, though. Going more ranged, it looks like. Infantry ranged. Eric Draven, Hulk. Seen Hulk in the field a little bit. Not bad fighting. Sun Z, I've seen him a little bit. Kakuk Zombie. Chuso, your grandmother. A lot of nobodies. Sun Z Farms. Not much coming out of G-War. So the real ones I'm concerned with out of this side, you're looking at DEX and DMZ. Those are your top two, I think, out of this one. At least on paper to me. Next we look at Golden. Zealoid Clan coming out of 109. Being led by this gentleman I can't pronounce. Kadobao. I don't read Cyrillic. Decent fighter though. I know these guys. I've played against him a couple times. He's got Doctor over here. Decent fighter. Likes to bang. Haven't seen any of these guys, Mr. Luo or Chupak. Zelo's got a couple of people who like to bang, so that'll be a good one to fight against. We've got Daylight. Day coming out of 241. 209, 202. Zeus, 200. Got a white part there. Very nice white part. Infantry main looks like. Big Cat Doll, Love. See what you guys look like for kills. And on the lower side. This is good. This is just like me. It's an infantry main right there. Big Cat Doll. Same thing. I should have not done these ones and these instead. Meh. I guess it's all personal preference. Name I can't pronounce. Candace. Players out of day. Not too bad. Let's see what we got coming out of Vino, the leader, Julia. 260 coming out of IPIM. IPIM. EPIM. I don't even know. 260 there. That'll be interesting to see how they hit. That seems like it out of them. Yeah, out of Vino, so we're not really concerned about Vino. I am concerned about play, though, because I'll show you play. These guys are a bunch of fighters. Look at this. Fighters, 260, but he's got almost 1 billion kills. Yeah, these will be the guys that we'll have to look out for. Let's finish taking a look at it. I didn't mean to go out that far. Yeah, these will be the guys to look out for. We've had to fight them a couple of times. They're pretty strong, good fighters. Yeah, really full though. So it'll be interesting to know how much they actually registered at. I guess it'll tell us 10 billion. Whoo. It's a lot. $221, $220, or $240, sorry. White parts. 228. 8 p.m. looks to be swinging pretty okay too. Gold looks pretty good. If only we could have allied across the map. Can't do that. Next, let's look at Azure. We got Warriors. Wolf, Warriors of the Wealth. 295 out of Ted. Guy looks like he likes to fight, so that'll be good. Lots of white parts. This is unfortunately a whale that's sitting back. This is what you would call a sandbagging whale for sure. Hopefully we'll see him on the field. Haven't seen him yet. Well, I guess I don't have to concern myself. I'm not on that side of the field. 197. 150. Decent fill out. Wolf. Now we got to immortalize us. We've had to fight these guys before. Child. Ritter Wand. Shredder. Decent kills. White parts. They're not bad. Had to fight against them before. Yeah, not bad. Not bad, not bad. And we got FPA, Free Planets Alliance, out of 485. Taking a look there. 115 out of their leader with low kills. 236. Let's see what their higher player is. White parts. All right. That's not too bad. Red parts, more balanced. Infantry main looks like. Lots of kills, though. So it's obvious that the leader is more of a filler, I think. Just so that the other person can kind of probably move around. It's probably a farm. A white part. Nice. That's FPA. Next, we're looking at Soda. Sons of the Anarchy. Tiny Tigers in the lead there. Let's see. Fury 01. Well, 1-to-1 kills. Not bad. Does have a white part. Lots of red. That's very nice. Guy spends a lot. 184 is a decently new account. That's good, though, to have white parts that be set that up already. It's pretty good. Good job, Fury. Here's a much older player. Much more balanced. We got Toro. This is where we start to fall off. What about Korax? Not bad. I think he's too balanced on his parts, though, but that's just me. Seems like he's trying to balance on everything. Oh, nice. Good job, Horny. That's Soda. And then lastly, let's take a look at Neon. It's being led by Spider. I know Spider firsthand. He used to play with us for a little while. Good leader. Got Defender over here, 243. Lots of white parts. Not a lot of kills, though. Much older account. That's surprising. Mostly tier 6, though, so that's good. He must have started fighting late. Must have fought late. 24 million deaths, 25 million deaths. Yeah, must have fought late. Or spent a lot of his stuff in towers. That's possible, too. 191. Had a will. That's not bad. Let's see, 177. Ragnar's in here, 172. Yeah, I know these guys. Some of these guys anyways. Curious how many people they logged in. So that's the ones that we ended up allying with. Azure. IM3's a couple of good hitters. Soda's got a couple of 3 hitters. Neon's got a couple of good hitters. And they've been putting up a fight so far. They did get locked in. They did end up getting locked in, but they did have a fight over here on this end. But they did push back for a little bit, so we'll have to see how the numbers come out. And if you actually look at the War Meets War numbers, they're actually doing pretty good. So now they're finally building out to collect their gates and stuff, which is what we've already done. But let's take a quick look at Jade. Let's take a look at what we're rocking here. Let's see what we're rocking over here. So we've got Pirates, led by Who Cares, 213. We've got Ivan. A couple of white parts on his bag. Mr. Spessy, Mr. Specky, however you want to pronounce it. Had to fight this guy before. Nice big fighter. I've seen him kind of float around, so that's nice. Burnaby's been pretty active and fighting good. It's another one. So this team's bringing a couple of big hitters. Lots within that 300, 200. Yeah, 161. They got a lot of players, though, so it'll be interesting to know who they kicked. Let's see who's next. Acacia. ACA coming out of 111. 200. 674,000 out of the leader. That's very nice. Here's another good fighter. 229. The billion kills. I want to see where the most of that comes into. Yeah, all tier 6 mostly. Tier 5, tier 6. That's good. Gunned. Younger account. Probably 2 years old. White part. Range main. Nice. Decent. And it drops off after that. Acacia. Next, we got Strength and Honor coming out of 235. This is KRNB. Let's take a look. Led by Corin B. Not bad. No real big hitters, though. Nothing out of there. No 200 mils. No 200 mils. No 200 mils. Not much out of KNRB. Kind of depressing. Not much to bring out of there. Sinners, I've met these guys before. These guys are pretty good. I've got a couple of matches with them. The Death, the Reaper. But outside of the Death, they're pretty missing out. I mean, we got a Rider main here. Lots of white parts. That's nice. Out of the Death, that's good. Clubberlang. But they're not bringing anything else outside of that. So, unfortunately, outside of Death, that's really kind of it. And then, obviously, we'll take a look at GROP. And we logged in everybody in these three here. So, let's just take a look at those. I don't have to go through the rank 1 ones. Because none of these guys are actually in. Yeah, none of those are actually in. So on our low end, so we got Lee, Zeno, Chad the Shire is one of our biggest hitters. Nandu's here, big hitter, decent. Aries is a decently big hitter. Myself. Father's here. So we're bringing some decent hitters. I mean, obviously nothing like the 200, 300s. We're having to rely on our alliance for that, but other than that, it's not a bad matching. I think things are pretty evenly paced, evenly squared away. So we'll see how it comes, you know, further into it. We're only day 1, and things are kind of balancing nicely. So I'm giving it a lot of credit. But that's going to be it for the bracket breakdown, folks. If you liked what you saw today, if you're confident that GROP is going to have a chance this time, go ahead and smash that like button. Comment and subscribe who you're more concerned about in this bracket. And if you haven't already, fill out the notification bell so you get any new drops when we drop new content. If you can, go ahead and click the join button. For $5 a month, you get to become a member, get access to content before it drops, get access to member-only material, shout-outs, lessons, you name it. We got lots of offers there. But outside of that, folks, thanks very much for tuning in. Love, peace, chicken grease, and until next time, stay lifted.